Hi, it's Katie again. Thank you so much for checking back. Now, today I have some great information for you, but first you may want to grab a pen and a piece of paper because unlike some of the other videos where it's just a quick one thing to remember, like I need to buy a journal and take advantage of that, today's is a little more cumbersome and a little more clinical. So what do I mean by a little more clinical? Today I'd like to talk to you about what an eating disorder really is. Now, I know a lot of you think, I already know what it is. I don't need you to tell me. But some of us have never heard of it before. We may never really dealt with it. We hear the terms fly around when we're reading, some trashy magazines and stuff that are guilty pleasures. But it may say, so-and-so is anorexic, look how thin she is. Or so-and-so went to the bathroom. She's bulimic. It was right after she ate, an insider says. And so we don't really know what an eating disorder is. We just hear these terms used and from that decide that that's what an eating disorder is. But the way that psychiatrists as well as therapists like myself figure out that someone has an eating disorder and actually diagnose them is by referencing our DSM. Now the DSM is a book that we use, and the DSM is short for the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. So what does the DSM do? Why do we have this huge book taking up all this space? It's something that we use the same way a primary care physician would maybe take some blood work, go through his checklist to make sure you really do in fact have strep throat, not some other ailment. So when someone comes into my office and they're presenting with some symptoms, I want to go through my checklist and make sure that that is actually an eating disorder. It's not something else. So what the DSM has to say about eating disorders is that it's characterized by a severe disturbance in eating behaviors. Well, okay, that sounds like it could apply to a lot of us. But what this really means in real life is this person has severe disturbances. I mean, when we plan events like, yes, Christmas dinner, my grandma's making that ham, it's amazing, I can't wait. Or, oh, I'm going with my girlfriend, we're going to have coffee and dessert, it's delicious, I'm so looking forward to that flourless chocolate cake. They don't have that. That's not how they feel about it. Those events that surround food, which think for a second, that's a lot of events. Everything that we do tends to revolve around food. It's very anxiety provoking for them. It takes up a lot of their time, their thought process. When something's really bugging you and you're sitting at your desk, maybe at work, and all you can think about is that other thing, and you realize you haven't done any work, it's been like 45 minutes. That's how it feels to them. So when I say an eating disorder is characterized by severe disturbance in eating behaviors, that's what I mean. These little instances that a lot of people take for granted, no big deal, great time, good food, those aren't very happy times for them. They can be really stressful. So I hope that clarifies a little bit about what an eating disorder is so that we can kind of slough off the rest of what it's not, what the magazines might say it is or isn't. And in future videos, what I plan to do is talk about the different types of eating disorders. So there's even more clarification around what anorexia really is, what bulimia looks like, things like that. And so remember, comment below. Please give me your feedback. I'd love your questions, things that you want me to further explain. I'll be happy to do so. And also subscribe so that when I, take your comment under consideration and put another video out, you know about it. And so just continue this walk with me. Thanks for checking in. Let's work harder towards a healthy mind and a healthy body.